Some of my earliest fascinations with this game involved water, and I bet a lot of EQ players had similar experiences. Maybe you were lured by legends of a lake, or lost civilizations. Perhaps you stumbled upon a hidden passageway, or found a small bag. Maybe you asked the simple question, what's down there? Or better yet, what's on the other side? Well, I plan to find out. Let's talk about boats. The boats in Everquest really work. And there's all kinds. The Maiden's Voyage, the Icebreaker, the Barrel Barge, the Bloated Belly. What kind of name is that for a ship, you ask? I don't know. Sounds like a troll name. And all the boats have one thing in common. They take forever. And while a lot of people probably think that's a bad thing, I think it's kinda cool. It makes the world seem that much larger. And all sorts of things can happen while you're waiting around, like meeting new people, exploring other areas of the game, witnessing a robbery, fighting a shark for its treasure, cat people. Maybe you decide you want to hunt mermaids cause you saw one during your travels. Instead of instantly teleporting somewhere? I mean, Everquest really is more about the journey than the destination, and my destination just happens to be adventure. You know, the kind where you accidentally log off on the boat, and when you log back on, the game decides to drop you off in the middle of the ocean at night. That kind of adventure. And the boats in this game really take you straight from point A to point B. They often stop off at various islands throughout the game, and islands are awesome. You never know what you're gonna find on an island. Thanks, boats. And if you haven't explored all the islands in Everquest, then what are you doing? What are all of you doing? Go explore. Or you know what? I'll do it for you. Let's look at some examples, some of my favorite islands. Let's start with the Ocean of Tears. This zone has everything. There's an island with gargoyles, cyclopses, pirates, bird people, humans that are on the human faction. There's an island with a giant bipedal lizard thing called the Alizu... Alizu... It has treasure. In Timorous Deep, there's an island that looks like a circular wall, but if you investigate it thoroughly enough, you'll find an underwater entrance that leads to the inside. And then there's just a rock mound, and you're all like, well, this sucks. But if you keep searching, you'll find another secret entrance that leads to this super secret hidden tropical lagoon paradise. Thanks, water. But don't go in the water. Off the coast of the Field of Bone, there's a small island. And next to it is a larger island with a giant tangren on it. Who would have thought that this extremely high-level monster would be so close to the Ixar starting area? I bet this guy didn't. And then there's my favorite island of all, found in the Oasis of Mar. Just look at it. It sparks the imagination. What's on that island? What are those? What's that tower for? What's that? Why is the fire blue?
Why is the fire blue?
I even remember myths back in the day about this tower being some kind of portal to the plane of hate. But there's one thing on Spectre Island for sure, and it's specters. These things are really high level compared to the rest of the zone. There's also really high level goblins in the water. Don't go in the water. And this is something that Everquest does really well, adding scary high level mobs to lower level zones. They wanted you to be wary, to mind your surroundings. There are threats lurking everywhere in this game. The stakes are high. There's a lot of risk versus reward going on. And mobs like these give you a reason to come back to the zone when you're higher level. What else is around? And I am higher level. I'm 49. I can do whatever I want. And what I want is to destroy these island monsters once and for all with the magic of water. Across the sea on the shores of the Field of Bone lies my very first Everquest mystery. Jernell. Marfury. Who is she? What's she for? Where do I even begin? Well, let's start with the facts. Okay, so here I am on the beach. Now the first thing you might notice about her is that she's dead. Okay, that's kinda odd, but there's a lot of dead things in EQ, so you know, whatever. If she were in a haunted house, I wouldn't say anything. But she's here, next to the water, so, you know. The video's about water. It's kinda strange that she's not kill on sight, right? Being that she's undead? I think Shadinar might have been onto something. 16 years ago. If you kill her, you'll see that she gives no faction hits, and as far as I know, she doesn't say anything or respond to any text or hails, so no help there. The scaled wolf pup is her placeholder, and if you kill it during the day, it just respawns like normal. But if you kill it at night, then Jernel spawns in its place, and if you kill her at night, she instantly respawns. Now that is weird. How many mobs instantly respawn when they die? I don't know. Ask someone else. Ask him. Or him. Maybe she knows. It's also interesting to note that she travels all the way down the beach and stops right here and looks longingly into the sea, probably full of undead regret and ghost sadness. So that's what we know for certain. Now this is where things get interesting. According to old posts on Alakazam, she would cast a variety of spells. Heals, stuns, lay hands. Okay, a ghost paladin? That in itself seems odd, but people also said that she would cast Gather Shadows. So that makes no sense. On Project 1999, she seems to be a cleric though, casting heals and stuns and root, I think. She never cast Lay Hands, and she definitely doesn't cast Gather Shadows. I guess we'll never know for certain what class she was, so let's get back to the question, what is she doing here? It's not often that you see a person on Kunark without scales. I think that's important to note. Reading through some other old posts on Alakazam reveals an interesting theory that perhaps she's a casualty of the Erudite Civil War. I mean, Erudin is right there after all. I think. I tried to prove this by looking at the first post about her on Alakazam and syncing that up with the release date of The Hole, but unfortunately The Hole was introduced on June 22nd of 2000, and the earliest post I could find about her was June the 6th. So it's likely that she's been wandering the coast since the release of Kunark. Maybe she just died at sea in a storm or something. Her name is Marfury after all, as in Terumar, the Fathom Lord, leader of the Triumvirate of Water. Coincidence? Probably. Perhaps we'll never know the purpose of this poor ghost, but don't weep, Timorous Deep. I mean, not all mysteries can be solved, and maybe some shouldn't be. So take it easy, Golden Afridi. I'll just leave you with the immortal words of Jernel. Wait, I have one last idea. Okay, I know exactly what to do. Stay close. Do exactly as I say. Get ready. Ready? Get her! There's one water-related mystery in all of Everquest that I'm certain has remained completely unknown. I've never seen it discussed on the internet. In all my time chatting people up in the tunnel, no one's ever mentioned it. It's not in any manual, and it's here on Kunark in Furiona 5. Damn. Now what most people don't know about this zone is that... I mean, when people come here, they never think to actually look... Anyways, this city is surrounded by water, right? And if Prexis has taught us anything, it's... Birds? Birds? Where are they? What? There's birds in this game? Yes, there are birds in Everquest. No, not those. Not those either. I don't even know what those are. In Furiona Vi, there's bird sound effects tied to different structures. It's kinda weird. Like you have to walk into the object to trigger the sound. Usually the sound effects in this game are just ambient, or they occur when you interact with something, like bags. One cool thing about these birds though is that they change depending on what time it is. During the day you can find seagulls inhabiting these engines of war, some of these trees by the coast, and there's actually songbirds deeper in the woods. But when the moon comes out, owls take their place. It's amazing. Well, maybe not amazing. but I love it. And while I'm in Kunark, I might as well kill 2 seagull ghosts with 1 stone.
Top 25 Pixar statues.
Since I first stepped foot into Norath, I've heard legends of the monster in the lake, a great sea beast, a terror of the deep, a kraken, leviathan, a nautical horror that would send the ocean lord Prexus himself quaking in fear. Oh, it was just a goblin. But seriously, I've heard so many people say that there was some kind of monster in Lake Wrath during the beta that I've basically accepted it as fact. But there is in fact some remnant of this tale found in-game. If you travel to Kinos and visit this shack at the pond, you can find a guy named Axe Broadsmith. If you talk to him, he'll actually mention some myths about Lake Wrath. Something about a giant water beast and tales of a lost city. Ignore the Haddon farmers. Don't let their lusting greed draw you in.
For that pole is likened to the gravity of a collapsing star. Unable to escape, you know no more the joy of fire beams, or music at the gates, or fishbone earrings would be your prize. And dying at the speed of light, you know your folly at last sight. Tunnel fat cats dancing like gypsies.
And if you're interested in other EverQuest type myths and mysteries like this, then I'd recommend looking at this old site. You'll never find a more incomprehensible list of made up nonsense about EverQuest anywhere else on the internet. This guy seems to have the right idea though. But really, it's a fascinating read seeing how much people made up or figured out or even noticed about this game. Apparently they even did server-wide searches of zones back then and made guilds for the sole purpose of discovering mysteries in-game. That's the beauty of EverQuest, I suppose. Though I still haven't seen any UFOs in the Oasis of Mar, or flying carpets, or Saturn. Well, it's that time again, the end of a pointlessly long video about some nonsense or whatever. And I've only just scratched the surface of water in EverQuest. There's an entire zone that's underwater. Hidden spires with a room full of magical pots that teleport you to any city in the game. Legends of a ghost ship. Waterfalls. There's an underwater tunnel in Akanon that totally seems like it should be a zone line. The mythical Karana Thunder Salmon. An unknown water beast in the Ocean of Tears. Other creatures that I didn't even talk about. Shipwrecks. The Kedge. Seaweed.